Today, I will speak to you about speaking up. Dogs are domesticated wolves. While there is nothing wrong with being domesticated, there is a DNA code inside of you that houses a beast. I'd like to share a story with you of what happened to me this morning and how the wolf came out and replaced the dog within me. I was at my favorite coffee store chain, and after waiting exactly 6 minutes and 48 seconds in front of the ordering counter, which I deliberately timed, I then asked the lady whose back was faced towards me if she was ready to take my order. I must tell you that I faced the same issue in the drive-thru every single morning at this store. Considering all the factors of peak time, backlogged orders, and being understaffed, I still believe that waiting 3, 4, 5 minutes is extremely inappropriate when there is no line in front of you and when there are more than 3 servers behind the counter. And so today I decided to walk into the store rather than having to wait 10, 12 minutes in an empty drive-thru. And so when I questioned her in an assertive tone if she was ready to serve me, as expected, this young lady took my questions personally and informed me that she was busy and that I needed to be patient. Okay, so I took her advice with a pinch of salt, considering her sharp tone, shifted my head back a bit so that I could have direct eye contact, and with a one-sided smile, I informed her, I have been patient and I have given you 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, sweetheart. All I need you to do is punch in my order and then I will continue to be patient. Her facial expressions clearly indicated to me that she was going to have a lot more to say, and that would not be appropriate or healthy for her, for me, or for the people around us. The possible confrontation could escalate in all of us having started a fresh day in a bad way. Also, while I was speaking, she began. And so I quickly looked over my shoulder at the door, looked back at her, and said, yes, I too think that is what you should do. You should lock the door so that the customers do not come in here and wait if the amount of work you have won't allow you to be the one who makes sure your customer's day starts well. And then I pointed at a sign behind her and said, it says right there, we make America smile. And with a stoic face and my eyes smiling, I asked her if I could have a mocha to go. And that was it. The confrontation was over. Once I received my mocha, I complimented, I thanked, I smiled, I tipped, and I left. And in this entire process of me waiting for my coffee that was much quicker than my initial wait, I didn't receive the slightest smile or inclination of reciprocated calmness and kindness in return. It seemed she still had a lot to say but couldn't because the conversation had nothing more to be added to it. I followed the rules of engagement with the opposite gender. I was patient. I understood their weakness. I offered to assist in their weakness. I did not exert strength nor display my weakness in the situation. I just followed the rules of engagement in an escalation of disagreement. And now I'm having a good day. And I'm sure the young lady learned something positive from me today as well. If you observe 2 men are talking, communicating, they very much stay within the parameters of communication and keep an ongoing flowing conversation without crossing boundaries. Because a man knows, as a man, the other person would be willing to roll up their sleeves and raise their fists if required. And so regardless of the mutual respect between men, the threat of being inappropriate and getting physical will always be an overlaying reality in a man's world. No man would cross the line with another stranger man because there surely will be consequences. However, the bigger factor between men still remains mutual respect and not fear. Male friends say it how it is to each other and there is no flattering words. Men indulge in wordplay, in wit, in sarcasm, horseplay, and even cuss each other out. Yet we hold true to the foundation of friendship and brotherhood and do not get sensitive on each other on the trash talk. So what happens to that same confident, slapstick, responsive, non-sensitive, slick man when he's in a position of disagreement with a woman? In most cases, why does he take a step back and look to contain the situation or gently walk away? Of course, in relationships and in marriage, it's a different type of communication response and dilemma. But what I'm talking about here today is just a general disagreement between a man and a woman in a public environment or in an office or in a group of friends. If the woman goes out of line in her tone of words or expressions towards a man, most of the time it would be overlooked or not entertained, and the man would silently walk away, or worse, apologize. Why is this difference in confidence in conversation between a man versus a man and a woman? So there is multiple factors to take into consideration why men have forgotten to speak up and hold on to their values and beliefs strongly of being disrespected. So the first factor to consider is that from the beginning of time until 2 decades ago, boys were being conditioned to suck it up, don't cry, get up and move. And in places of the world where this is still being practiced, those societies seem to be protected by the evilish progress within their state and spirit. Something that we and our children are being victimized to accept regardless of our views and our united voices. Every extreme has its repercussions, and so similarly, while raising boys to be completely in touch and sensitive with their emotions and their feelings, and having these little boys contemplate and have the option to shift their gender based on their feelings, this has disastrous effects on those generations that we can clearly already see today. However, raising boys in the manner that I mentioned earlier, to just suck it all up, that too is disastrous for society, and that's what leads to men not being able to speak up or communicate with women in the manner that is required to. This is all caused by the lack of experience in expressing or understanding or handling emotional conversations and outbursts, be it your own or of a woman. The second determining factor in why men don't speak up anymore is from the fear of falling under male toxicity, anti-feminist, misogynist, masculist, or narcissist. Okay? And so men have lost their confidence and ability to hold firm agreements and disagreements with women and choose to remain silent or walk away, which is the first and biggest sign of the fear of confrontation. You should know this. And the third factor, you have the sellout males, the spineless ones who will agree and go along with the abuse or disagreement just because their objective is to be a woman pleaser, or then they have genophobia. These classifications of men are the most threatening to healthy masculinity. They themselves aren't completely aware of the effects of masculinity death. These men can be considered like a handkerchief in the wind. They have no strength to steadfast on their opinions. They have no strength of their own. As a man, you must never be fearful of protecting yourself and your respect against insinuation. You must speak up. This is done by using your speech and your vocabulary along with good communication skills. This is done from a position of power and authority and responsibility and humility and honesty. And this is also what a man should expect in the woman that he is talking to have the same approach as him. Allow her to display her authority and power, even if it is over you, as long as it comes with responsibility, with humility and honesty. Okay? Give her her chance to say what she has to say. Be patient. Listen carefully. Contain your anger in your words. And when she is done throwing up all over you, don't retaliate. Don't walk away, but rather take control and placate the situation by simply being curious and ask her, "Are you okay today, sweetheart? It seems you're having a bad day, and so maybe that's why you feel the need to disagree with me or verbally erupt on me without allowing my point of view to be considered by you." Here, you have established authority by asking her to check herself if she is transferring her irritation of another issue over to you. You're also taking responsibility of her well-being and mental health here by asking her this in a concerned tone rather than a sarcastic tone. Okay? With the right words, you have established your authority and your concern. With the right tone, you have established your nobility and humbleness. And to conclude your sentence, the deep breath you take in, pause, and let out with a stern smile establishes the fact that you have teeth too and you aren't afraid to use them. That's how you talk to a woman who is dissenting you. As a man, you must never be afraid of the shaming tactics that are being developed every day. Male toxicity has been blown out of proportion. Do some clinical research on yourself, and if you do not fall under these categories, then don't let it bother you the slightest and don't let it silence you from speaking up when required. Speak your mind, challenge what people have to say. If something needs to be voiced, be the one. Do it with responsibility and accountability and as a custodian of curiosity on why that person has these particular views. Be curious. Understand what she is saying, but understand only if she is saying it in a calm way and being humble. And then be responsible in your conversation. Okay? Agree if you are wrong and educate her if you feel that she may be wrong. It is important to speak your mind responsibly, even if your voice shakes in the beginning. Educate yourself, level up and get wiser so that you can hold powerful conversations without fear. Educate yourself on how to agree and how to disagree the appropriate way. Walking away from toxic situations such as these is teaching yourself to turn the other cheek. There are other ways to handle it, and if handled well, you may just have enlightened a better person. Being assertive and having knowledge is very important as a man. And alongside with that, you require a strong body language and a presence that fills up the room with glitter. The morality within environments that we live in are deteriorating at a drastic rate, and both men and women are contributing to this equally. So do your part. Don't sit tight in the name of being shamed. Learn how to hold conversations, learn how to negotiate, learn new words and sentences, listen to people, be sympathetic to foolishness, but disregard it. Okay? There are many sessions I have covered on how to shift from a normal state of being to elevating yourself completely. If you follow these steps dedicatedly, then you will find yourself being able to participate and moderate conversations in a very swift way. Communication is key, and never be afraid to communicate. Be safe, be positive, keep your mind healthy, learn a new word every day, and never give up on being a good person.